Hey, this is Avish Parashar from SpeakingExpert.com. Do you want to have more engagement and make your stories more exciting for the audience? Well, a simple way to do that is to express more emotion in your story. If you watch the great speakers and great storytellers, they don't just talk about the emotions, they show you right on their face with their body language. They're acting out their emotions a little bit. This doesn't mean you need to be a one person show. It just means you need to let yourself demonstrate some emotions. Because when you convey the emotion, you're going to get the audience to feel it a little bit as well. In fact, if you go to the Speaking Expert blog and under podcasts, find the interview with Cherie Alexander on influence, she talks about this thing called mirror neurons, which is when scientists have discovered these things that people will feel based on what they're seeing. So if you convey a little anger in your emotion, people are going to feel that frustration that you did. Or if you express sadness, they're going to feel that level of sadness. Now that's engagement. So how do you do this? Well, this is a giant topic. I'm going to give you one simple technique. And that is to start identifying the emotion words you're already using. I was just doing a brief little coaching session for an NSA chapter. And I was working with a handful of speakers, having them do their material. And this one woman told this great little story. I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to identify her or let her. This is her story. But she was telling this story. And over the course of this 3-minute story, she probably expressed 3 or 4 different emotions, but she just talked about them. She said, I realized at this point in my life, I really wanted blank. Well, really wanted, that's desire, that's an emotion. You can demonstrate that with your voice and body language. Then she said, but I wasn't very good at it. I was really awkward. And she just 1 second act out. But awkward is an emotion. Then she said, but I couldn't get it. So I started to feel really depressed. Another emotion. And then there was another thing about how someone came to her and she felt very, I forget the exact emotion, she was envious or caring, something emotional, like an emotional connection with someone who said something very touching to her. Now this is 4 different emotion words she used, but never really conveyed. So if you are awkward, act out awkward with your body language, with your voice. When you say, don't just say, I was depressed, say, I was so depressed. Right? Let that emotion out. You've already got these emotion words in your stories. You're probably telling stories where you say things like, this really frustrated me, or I was so happy, or man, I was so sad in that moment. Find those words and then go back through your stories, practicing not just saying the emotion word, but expressing it, right? Acting it out a little bit. And in fact, what I recommend people do is overact when you're practicing. So get a camera, a little flip video like I got, a webcam, a computer, or your phone, whatever, and record yourself telling your story. But wherever you've identified an emotion word, go over the top with it. So if you say something, well, I was sad, say, I was so sad. Now that's ridiculous. You're never going to tell the story that way, but it's a great way to practice. So the very first step, though, is identifying it. Those emotions are already there. Just find them, start demonstrating them a little bit, and your story is going to instantly become much more engaging and fun to watch. So once again, this was Avish Parashar from SpeakingExpert.com. For more tips, articles, posts, and videos, as well as a free PDF on how you can get paid speaking work in the next 90 days, be sure to visit SpeakingExpert.com.